student. Welcome to Physics Simplified with Mrs. Rupa Kope. Today we'll be performing an experiment, conversion of a galvanometer into an ammeter and conversion of galvanometer into a voltmeter. All of you know what is a galvanometer. We have already learned about it, but I will definitely show you what is a galvanometer, how it is construction. Similarly, you know what is an ammeter. Ammeter is a device to measure the current. And what is a voltmeter? Voltmeter is a device to measure the potential difference across a cell or across a resistor. Then what is the use of a galvanometer? We can convert that galvanometer into an ammeter and a voltmeter of desired range. Now for example, you know very well, galvanometer is used to detect the current. Only we want to know the current. And second part is, it can also show the direction of current. So this galvanometer, let's see the construction, how it looks like. So now, I'm showing you an opened up galvanometer. Galvanometer is a device used to detect very small current and also to show the direction of current. The pointer attached to a coil placed between the two poles of a strong magnets. They are powerful strong magnets, shows deflection whenever a current is passed through that coil. This coil experiences a torque and the deflection produced in the galvanometer is directly proportional to the current in the coil. So this is the pointer which will deflect. So this deflection is directly proportional to the current flowing in the coil. So the current sensitivity of the galvanometer tells us how much sensitive the galvanometer is for very small current, which can be used to find figure of merit. Now we have a galvanometer. Now what we already know, we have done one experiment, figure of merit of a galvanometer, and we also have done an experiment how to find the resistance of the galvanometer. So both the experiments, you can see the link, click the link in the description box and learn about it. Now today we have got one new galvanometer, and what I did is I found out the figure of merit of that galvanometer. And I found the figure of merit K is equal to 14 microamps per division. That means it is 1.4 into 10 raised to minus 5 ampere per division. This is my figure of merit. So let's take this. We know very well a galvanometer has total 30 divisions. So therefore, current, maximum current which is flowing in the galvanometer is N into K. Now what is N? N is the number of divisions on the galvanometer. So it is 30 into 14 microamps, which is equal to 420 microamps. This is my maximum current which can flow in the given galvanometer. Now also we perform an experiment to find out the resistance of the galvanometer. G is equal to, I got it as 60 ohm. So I have got the two results. Now what I do is, I want to convert a galvanometer into a ammeter. So I have a standard ammeter whose range is 0 to 50 milliamps. This is the range. Now I want to convert this particular galvanometer into an ammeter of that range. So what I do is, I take the, now you know that this is the galvanometer, this is my 0, this is my 10, 20, 30. Similarly 10, 20, 30. You know that. So there are altogether, so 30 divisions on this. So I want to make this 30 divisions into 50 milliamps. So this should show 50 milliamps. Now let's again go back to the, what kind of circuit we require. So this is the current, that is 50 milliamps, which should go in the galvanometer. Tell me one thing, if so much current goes in the galvanometer, it will get spoiled. It cannot measure such a large current. So what can be done so that current I, 50, goes in this? So I am going to connect one very small resistance called as shunt resistance. So this is S. So the current which will flow in the galvanometer is Ig. But the remaining current, I minus Ig, will flow in this shunt. So now what we have? We have an interesting story. This total system now becomes a emitter of the range of 0 to 50. So let's now do the circuit analysis and calculations of certain parameters. So look here, Ig into Z is potential difference across this particular 2 points. Whereas this is also equal to I minus Ig into S. So we get this, and therefore what we have to do is we want to find out value of shunt resistance. So I'll just rub this out. And I'll write here S is equal to Ig into G upon I minus Ig. This is what I get. So this is the value of shunt. Now, we know certain things. What is my Ig right now? It is 420 microamps. So I can write this as 0.420 milliamps. What is G? G is 60 ohm. What is I? I is the current which is equal to 50 milliamps. 50 minus Ig, 0.420. This is what I get is I minus Ig. What is this? I minus Ig equal to 50 minus 420. That is in milliamps. So all these values we substitute and we'll get the answer. So shunt resistance is equal to Ig, which is equal to 0.420 milliamps multiplied by 60 ohm divided by 50 minus 0.420 milliamps. Let's calculate and we get the answer as 0.5 ohm. So we get 0.5 ohm as the shunt resistance. It's a very, very small value. Now what we need to do is we need to find out what will be the length of the wire. What will be the length of the wire? So what we will do is I'll just rub this out and I'll show you what happens. L is equal to question mark. So total I have a nichrome wire whose resistance is 100 centimeter wire I have taken, and we found that the resistance of the nichrome wire is 6 ohms. Naturally 6 ohm for 100 centimeter. Therefore, for 0.5 ohm, what should be the length of the wire? So, it will be 0.5 into 100 upon 6. And we get the value as equal to is 8.3 centimeter. This is the length of the wire which should be connected across. So, this is my galvanometer. Current Ig flows through it. And here we have to connect a wire of length 8.3 centimeter so that we can get the current. So now let's start. Can you see this circuit? We know now what is the length required. Required length is how much? 8.3 centimeter, in that range. In fact, it is 8.33, but I am just writing there as 8.3. Now what we do is we have to now make the circuit. Let us look at the circuit diagram. This is the battery eliminator. Here the current goes. Now what we are doing is we are passing a current through this milliammeter, which is the standard milliammeter, and in series with that we are connecting a galvanometer with this shunt. So you know very well this particular box is nothing but a milliammeter of range 0 to 50 milliamps. And let's start with the experiment now. Now we are converting this galvanometer into an ammeter in the range of 0 to 50 milliamps. So 30 divisions means 50 milliamps. Look at the scale. 6 divisions will become 10 milliamps. 12 divisions will become 20 milliamps. Like that it will go on and we will see the readings. We'll go ahead. This is the eliminator. The positive of the eliminator comes to the galvanometer positive, and then milliammeter is the standard milliammeter. It's connected in series. because we are measuring a current. So this another terminal of this galvanometer is connected to the emitter, and negative of the milliammeter is connected to the rheostat variable. Fixed terminal goes to negative of the battery eliminator. So we have kept the eliminator voltage at 2 volts, and we want a range from 0 to 50 standard, and we want to make this also 0 to 50. That means 10 milliamps will be 6 divisions. Like that we go on. So we have taken wire, nichrome wire, whose length is 8.33 centimeter. We calculated, we have seen that. So we have to connect them in parallel with the galvanometer. So now we'll start. Look here, I have kept it on 12 division. 12 division means it has to be 20 milliamps according to our calculations. So it is showing 20 milliamps on the standard millimeter. Then I go ahead with 18. 18 division, I must get 30 milliamp. I'm getting it. Then 24 I go to. 24. 24 I'm getting nearly 40 milliamps. And then last, yes, on 30th division you can see 30 divisions means 50 milliamps. We are getting it 50. So we are getting the perfect value of emitter in the given range from 0 to 50 milliamps conversion. So experiment is successful.